Everybody knows Roseville, California is one of the hottest suburbs in the entire United States. Definitely California and definitely the Sacramento metro area. People love Roseville. Now, in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about Roseville and what makes it so unique, so special, especially in the Sacramento area. We're going to talk a little bit about East Roseville versus West Roseville versus Central Roseville. We're going to talk about shopping. We're going to talk about utilities. We're going to talk about access to the airport, access to downtown, which freeways work for it, which freeways don't. We're going to talk a little bit about traffic. Then we're going to take it up a notch. We're going to talk a little bit about things that are actually coming to Roseville in the near future. So if you're someone who's saying to themselves, like, I want to buy in West Roseville, but I don't see that much development there just yet, this video is for you because we're going to talk about the new things that are happening in the West Roseville area. They're just going to blow your mind. Can you get ready for this one? A surf park. Yes, a surf park coming to West Roseville. Then we're also going to take it a step further than that. We're going to do the Pepsi Challenge. We're going to compare it to Folsom, Elk Grove, Rockland, El Dorado Hills, and all the other spots that people absolutely love in the Sacramento Metro to help you kind of figure out exactly if Roseville's a spot for you. It's hard when you come into Sacramento because there's so many amazing choices. If you're going to go new homes, if you're going to go resale homes, condos, distance to shopping, schools, all that stuff, guys. And this is a show that we do live every single Wednesday. So there's going to be a lot of people on the show who actually live in Roseville that are going to be chiming in, telling you about Roseville firsthand. There's nothing about Roseville that you're not going to get from this video, and there's no experience you're going to get than not only hearing me talk about Roseville, dissecting Roseville, but getting input from people that actually live there, questions coming in on our live show, and we're going to bring it to you, and it's all about Roseville. Let's get into it. All right, guys, hopefully you guys are having a good evening. All right, we're going to talk about Roseville. Roseville is one of those areas in the Sacramento metro that is super popular. Everyone loves Roseville. Now, I've done a lot of business in Roseville, sold homes in Roseville. I've also put a lot of buyers into like West Roseville, East Roseville, Center Roseville, all those kind of spots. So I kind of wanted to go over Roseville a little bit. And, this is a live show and we have a lot of people that are going to be tuning in from Roseville and hopefully they interact. And Derek, I know you're one of them and I know you're a big fan of West Roseville. So I want to hear you give some pros about the area as well, too. But for me, Roseville is one of those unique spots in the Sacramento area that when someone calls me up and says, "Hey, Mark, I'm thinking about moving to Sacramento," Roseville is usually, there's about a 90% chance Roseville is going to be in the mix, right? It's usually like maybe Folsom, maybe Roseville, but Roseville is always kind of thrown in there for people who are looking for new homes, resale, people who are just looking for specific areas. Roseville is that spot. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about that, right? Why? Well, its proximity is pretty good as far as everything goes, as far as freeways, as far as everything goes here. Close to Folsom Lake, you got a lot of nature trails, you got a lot of communities. Not all Roseville, though, is created equal. I gotta say that. West Roseville is new homes. It's very beautiful parks. It's a brand new area. That's where the new Costco is. And the whole, what's called that whole marketplace is being developed out there as well, too. You got Placer One. It's another huge community that's being developed out there. You got the Sierra College extension that's being out there. So that whole area is growing and developing. You got the surf park that's being put in there. And there's a bunch of projects in the West Roseville area that is just kind of making it a little bit more of a new, kind of like a new Roseville, I guess you can call it. Now the thing about West Roseville is that, you just got to be careful, not really be careful, but know a little bit about, like, for example, like school districts. You have to be looking about zoning and everything too, because when you buy a home in a new home area like West Roseville or like Rancho or wherever, things change. School lines change, just a lot of changes that happen, right? And in fact, the funny thing about West Roseville is there's even a little sliver of West Roseville that's on PG&E and not Roseville Electric that most realtors don't even know about. Now before we get into Roseville and talk about the pros and cons about it, and we're going to compare it against Folsom. We're going to compare it against all these other spots as well, too. My name's Mark. Okay. And so what qualifies me to kind of do this video? Because I think a lot of times realtors throw these videos together, and I want to just explain to you guys, about 7 years ago, I started this YouTube channel and I started selling new homes, resale homes. I started going all over the Sacramento area selling because I would do a lot of videos on this channel about like Folsom, the Pocket, this and that. And so it brought me to these areas and I started to do a lot of business in all these areas and everything too. And so now that I've seen it grow, now I've seen it develop and everything too, West Roseville, myself, maybe, last year I put in like maybe 7 or 8 people. East Roseville, I've done a lot of buying and selling. Folsom, I've done that. El Dorado Hills, Rockland. So I know the various areas. And what is good about that is that when we get into the section of this video where we're going to break down like what specifically is Roseville comparatively towards a Folsom, that's one of the things that's very, very vital, because what you find is a lot of realtors focus in on one spot. They know one spot because they do local marketing and they're kind of like the neighborhood specialist. So they don't really leave their hub too much. Me, I'm always in my car. My car's got tons of miles on it. My entire team has tons of miles on their cars as well too. And so we just know a lot of areas. And as far as new homes go, that's one of the things that we do really well as well. So those are the things that made me want to do this video, because I think Roseville is exploding. It's got the Placer One community, the new Costco, all the new home building, all the stuff JMC is doing out there as well too. One of my favorite builders in the area. It's just vast. It's growing. It's fantastic. I think that Roseville also, their access to the 80, 65, Placer Parkway that's going to be coming in to kind of make that airport commute and downtown commute a little bit better. I think Roseville is a real kind of like rock solid place. Now, I think for price point, I think for lifestyle, I think for like shopping, I think for future growth, future appreciation, I think Roseville is just awesome. Now, as far as the different markets go, I'd say that if you broke it up, West Roseville is where kind of all the new homes are being built. We're talking West Park, we're talking Fittyment, we're talking, Winding, we're talking Amoroso, we're talking now the Placer One area. That whole thing is like West Roseville. And that's a lot of the new home buildings, right? You're not going to find too many new home building in Fittyment. I think there's maybe a JMC community out there, but Fittyment, West Park are kind of already built out. And now the hot communities right now are Winding Creek and Amoroso Ranch. Those are the big ones. Of course, Placer One is big too, but people are a little bit worried that Placer One's price point might be a little too high. They might be overshooting at the moment. So that's kind of the West Roseville area. Now, let's get into some of these fun slides I had. Now, Derek, let me know, because I wanted to make sure you were on the show as well too, to give me a little bit of your preferences about West Roseville and what you like specifically. For me, the West Roseville area, I love the fact that myself, I don't go out that much. I just don't. It's very suburban. It's very like, you can go around. There's a lot of nature trails. There's beautiful landscape out there as well too. You got Roseville Electric for the most part. And it's a growing area where, every month there's just new stores developing, new stores growing. If you're someone who's looking for a brand new home, because as we all know, interest rates are not fantastic at this moment, and they seem to be going in one direction up, new homes are kind of the thing, right? Specifically, if you are looking to buy like right now, or maybe in the next couple months, new homes are kind of that thing, because they give buy downs, interest rate buy downs, they give money towards closing costs. And because there's so many builders kind of building in the West Roseville area, you have tons of competition. So you have these builders like Lennar, Pulte, KB Homes, TriPoint, Meritage, D.R. Horton, Beazer, all these people that are building out there as well too. And a few of them I've missed here. And you got the new Taylor Morrison that just opened up. You've got a lot of builders. What does that mean for you guys as someone who's looking to come into Roseville? Is that they're all competing for your business. They're all giving incentives, and they're growing. The whole area is booming. And with those Melrose that no one likes to pay, which is a taxable bond that everyone needs to pay if they buy a new home in the Sacramento area, that Melrose is going towards new schools, parks, police departments, fire departments, everything too, which is turning like the entire kind of like the West Roseville area into this brand new landscape, right? We all saw that, Roseville itself has one Costco, and now West Roseville has its own Costco, and it's going to have its own, I think I have a slide here. Let me see here we go. Of all the baseline marketplace, Costco is going to be, right there, and they're going to be building a whole bunch more stores and growth and development. I mean, it's just nuts what they're going to be doing out there too. And the main reason why we're going to be doing this in this area specifically is because we have tons of land over there. So we're going to turn the West Roseville area into something unbelievable, and West Roseville is that spot, at least for me, that I'm always really, really happy to talk about. For people who are looking for new homes specifically, they're looking for kind of a bang for your buck type thing, I think West Roseville is fantastic. I think you can get a good house out there at a competitive price with good buy downs. I'd say the only other spot in the Sacramento area that's going to go neck and neck, maybe with West Roseville, would be Rancho, and Rancho does offer a little bit better incentives. But again, you know, like, and we'll compare it to Rancho a little bit later on in the show. West Roseville is a hard one to beat. I mean, with all the development, all the growth, the Plaza Parkway, you know, all the stuff that's happening. Roseville has like electric pickle, a pickleball court that's going to be coming out, more shopping. Then you have all the development that's happening like in Bickford Ranch. You have some great brand new communities that are offering like luxury kind of bougie homes like the Double S Ranch. You're going to see who's going to be building out there. You're going to see like, what is it? One Shawwood is going to be building out in Roseville as well too. So you have all these really, really like all the foundation laid for West Roseville to become just a powerhouse in the future. Okay, so how does it compare to like your East Rosevilles and your kind of like your Central Roseville, right? Central Roseville, I'd say, is kind of like, how do you say this, where is a little bit, how I define it is this. I'd say your center Roseville is kind of where the gallery and the fountains are. Okay. So I think that for me is a little bit of central Roseville. Like you're going to see also kind of close to the gallery and fountains, you're going to see old Roseville. Now that used to be kind of the downtown strip. It's kind of old timey kind of vibe to it. If you're looking for something in the resale market and you're saying to yourself, I really love Roseville and I want to keep it like under maybe 650 or 7, like the old Roseville area, you can probably make that happen. You're probably going to get something on a raised foundation. Nice house, nice area, but it's going to be very dated more than likely. Now, the other part of the Central Roseville area that I like are the condos and the homes that are close to the Roseville Galleria and the fountains. Everyone loves them because like Roseville is the big hub for our shopping here in the Sacramento area. So a lot of people will purchase homes because they, you know, want to be close to like an employment hub, which is over there too. It's just nice. That area, the Central Roseville is nice. But again, if you're looking for resale, I would say the main spot you're going to be looking for something affordable is probably going to be like your old Roseville area. Now, as far as the East Roseville area, you're looking at the stuff that kind of butts heads with Granite Bay. And Granite Bay in the Sacramento area is one of the more bougie kind of areas and communities. And it has cute communities in it as well too. Shelbourne, Wexford, Los Lagos, Eden Rock, some of these really amazing spots that have just tons of land, gated communities. And people just love, love, love the Granite Bay area. And so for me, what you notice is in East Roseville, whenever it butts up to Granite Bay, that area is very, very desirable. The benefit of East Roseville is you are on normally Roseville Electric. And so people kind of like that. But at the same time, the other side of the coin is people also like the idea that if they're going to be paying a Granite Bay price tag, they want the Granite Bay name associated with it. So it kind of goes back and forth, but it is definitely East Roseville is going to give you that Granite Bay kind of feeling with Roseville Electric. And people like that. And you're going to get those big houses out there as well too, 4, 5, 6,000 square feet. Really nice communities out there too. Though that's kind of what you're going to look at in the East Roseville area. Now, let me see. I did some notes for you guys as well too. Now the highways, you got 80 and the 50. Now this is one of the things that is brutal as far as if you guys hate traffic. The 80 and the 65, that intersection around maybe like an 8, 9, 10 a.m. is horrific. 4, 5, 6 as well in the afternoon. It isn't great. It's just stop and go traffic. Sometimes just stop traffic. Now, how's it compare to LA or the Bay Area? It doesn't. It's really, I'm griping about just, you know, a little spot of traffic, you know, so it's not really out of control, but it's definitely something to be aware of, especially if you're kind of coming into the area. That spot right there, I would say is some of the worst traffic. And I've seen so many accidents on the spot. Now for Roseville, one of the things that everybody likes as well is being close to the 80. Why? Well, a lot of people work downtown. A lot of people want that quick access to, you know, get to UC Davis Medical Center or somewhere downtown. And Roseville has that. And it also gives you the shopping and everything too. Now that's kind of the breakdown between them all. Again, Roseville is a fantastic spot to live. I've moved a lot of people into Roseville and they've been nothing but happy. Community vibe is definitely there. A lot of the communities just close up shop and do stuff for 4th of July. If you're looking for something suburban, whether it's East Roseville, Central Roseville, or if you're looking Old Roseville, or if you're looking West Roseville, it's just a very nice kind of just a community vibe out there. I mean, it's really, really beautiful. And Roseville is one of those hubs that people absolutely love jumping into. Now, we'll get into schools in a little while later, but let's hear from Derek. I love my neighborhood, peaceful and joyful community. And that's what I hear a lot about Roseville as well, too. It's just the fact that Roseville is just peaceful, tranquil. It's really, really nice, enjoyable. Everyone kind of knows each other, especially in the West Roseville area. What you see is a lot of people who are moving in, and a lot of people get nervous. A lot of people we work with are like, yeah, we're moving into this, we're coming in from Portland or Los Angeles, and we're just not sure how we're gonna, are we gonna, meet people. One is Sacramento, what I found, and this is someone coming in from the Bay Area. Everyone I've met in Sacramento, for the most part, has been super friendly. Clients that I've moved into houses have had an amazing experience out there too. People just seem to be very friendly in the Sacramento area. The other thing you have to realize if you move into like a West Roseville, a Rancho, or somewhere where they're building new homes, is that I would say at least 50% of the people that buy those new homes are people that are coming in from other areas. So what you're going to notice is that you might bump into people that have we're in the Bay Area, Los Angeles, Portland, Las Vegas, and they moved out. A lot of people are moving in. We're one of those weird markets that even though it's like, there's some communities that in other like cities that are just not doing that great, our area right now is really, really just still growing and growing and growing. And there's tons of action. Now, why is West Roseville such a popular spot at this moment? Well, because interest rates, right? Interest rates are going up, as we saw, wartime, recession, that whole thing. So everything's kind of going up. And so what does that mean? Mortgage rates are going that same direction. Now, what we're seeing is resale homes, although they're beautiful, although they're nice, two of the biggest problems about Roseville, like, East Roseville, and let's call it everything outside of West Roseville. What we're finding is there's low inventory. Sellers are pricing a tad bit higher than they probably should. And, it's just a market where a lot of people are feeling squeezed out because even if they could qualify for that, the payment is super high. And then you go to West Roseville where you get something brand new. You get usually an incentive where you can buy down your rate. You get a low rate. You can get an ARM. I mean, you can get a 3-2-1 buy down, 2-1 buy down. You get some crazy incentives and all of a sudden it's kind of a no-brainer. Now, if interest rates dip, let's say like in the fives, I'd say resale is going to be one of those things where people are going to be fueled to probably put their houses on the market a little bit more. But for right now, in the marketplace that we're in right now, especially in Roseville, I would say maybe if someone's looking at Roseville, 8 out of 10 times, it's going to be a new home. Why? Well, because they can qualify for the new home through the buy down or through the incentives that's being given in the new homes as well too. So a lot of people like that, and I don't blame them. And this time I would probably be doing the same thing. All right, let's go, Derek. All right, Roseville gave me the vibe that's a good place to own a home, despite I travel a lot. Yeah, and I think that one of the things that you mentioned a lot on the show, and I wanted to throw it out there as well, is the fact that the airport is close to Roseville. With Plaza Parkway, it's going to be a little bit closer, but the thing that's so nice about Roseville as well, especially West Roseville, is you're close to the airport. I think, close to downtown as well if you need to be. I like the West Roseville area. And I think the vibe is only going to get better there as well, too. Now the Costco's out there. And for me, it's just insane that all of Roseville has actually 2 Costco's. I've never even known that to happen in one specific area. Now, there is definitely, if someone's telling you East Roseville and West Roseville have the same kind of vibe, they just don't. I would say go to both and see which one you like better. As far as the builders out there, I'd say Taylor is probably a good bet at this point because they just started building, and Taylor likes to sell a little bit below what they want for their homes and get the momentum going. So I don't know. Roseville's a really nice spot. All right, hold on. A strong feeling that more development will happen eventually in Roseville. I think with Roseville, it's just a matter of time. Roseville's going to grow. It's going to develop. With all the Melrose that's been going into to Roseville as well, too. It's just, for me, it's just a matter of time. Right now, Roseville just has what? West Park, Fittyment, Winding, Amoroso, now Placer 1. With all those Melrose that people are paying, you're going to get a development. You're going to see tons of new schools. You're going to see tons of new parks areas. I mean, and that's what draws people to move into areas. And so for me, I think commercial is following suit. I think Costco is the start of that like baseline marketplace, which is going to develop and grow as well too. So I like the Roseville area for a lot of growth development. And I think Roseville is really like, I think Roseville is definitely that spot that people absolutely love. Now, as far as location goes, Roseville, downtown Sacramento, 20 minutes, Sacramento Airport, 25 minutes, Bay Area, 90 minutes, Tahoe, an hour or 110 minutes. God, I can't do my math tonight. Napa, 100 minutes. So everything is somewhat close by to Roseville as well too. You're also going to get some nice scenery. The only thing about Roseville, though, I will say to keep in mind and is that you are on Roseville Electric. But the only thing about Roseville Electric is you see a lot of power towers in Roseville. And I kind of mentioned this in some of the videos I've done about Roseville. So I would say for you guys as well, just understand that if you are moving to Roseville, and it doesn't matter where you move, like East Roseville, Central Roseville, or West Roseville, Roseville Electric is a force and you see it almost everywhere. So one of the things that I've noticed with some clients is the fact that like these power towers are almost everywhere. You get to save a lot as far as energy goes, but at the same time, these power towers are pretty much like everywhere. And, so just kind of keep in mind, I don't know what the studies are or whatnot, but I would definitely research that before pulling the trigger on a home. That would just be my 2 cents on it. Now, as far as location, as far as lifestyle in Roseville, you're going to have hiking trails, walking paths, biking. You're going to have everything underneath the sun there. So for me, I think Roseville gives you that California lifestyle. I think that if you're looking at new homes, price point, you could probably get something in Roseville for like in the low fives, and you can go all the way up to maybe like 850, 900 if you want to go crazy on a house as well too. It's just, I don't know. It's just a nice spot to live. We got Jason here as well too. Jason, how are you doing, my friend? We're talking a little Roseville. So I would love any input you have as well too. What do you think of West Roseville, Central Roseville, and East Roseville? How do they stack up to the other spots? That is the topic du jour tonight. But for me, I think, I don't know, Jason, being a realtor also in the area, Roseville, I was mentioning this earlier in the show, Roseville is one of those spots that for me, 9 out of 10 times, Roseville is in the mix for almost any client I work with. Roseville is always thrown in, even for people who are specific, like saying, I like Elk Grove. For some reason, because of price point, Elk Grove and Roseville kind of go neck and neck. So I got even people saying, I like Elk Grove, but I also want to take a look at Roseville as well too. Roseville is that weird kind of, the weird suburb that I get thrown in with everything. I mean, some people are like, hey, we like this, we like that. And I think also it's because of the shopping. I think it's because there are tons of new homes. I think that access to the 80 is right there too, and growth potential. But Roseville tends to be that spot that I get a lot of people asking about. All right, so PG&E versus Roseville Electric. A lot of people are like, it doesn't really matter. Okay, PG&E, as we all know, is just going up and up and up. So this is kind of what it is. In Roseville, you're going to be on Roseville Electric, except for a little sliver of Roseville. Now, make sure your realtor checks in on you and make sure that they tell you that you're not on that little sliver, because this is a big difference. Roseville Electric is huge. How does it compare to SMUD? It's pretty much neck and neck. I mean, they're very, very I'd say SMUD is maybe a little bit more affordable, but at the same time, I mean, it's just pennies, it's not really that big of a deal. But if you look at the comparison right now between PG&E and Roseville Electric, it's just nuts. Not to mention, if you do go the route of like a brand new home, you're going to have solar. On top of solar, you're going to have this electric kind of rate per kilowatt. I mean, or kilohertz. So, I mean, it's just nuts. I mean, the difference between Roseville Electric and PG&E and SMUD and PG&E as well too. So that's something also to keep in mind. The fact that if you are in Roseville, you're going to have, Roseville Electric. Rockland is on PG&E. Granite Bay is going to be on PG&E. Certain areas, El Dorado Hills is on PG&E as well too. So those are things to just kind of keep in mind, especially if you decide to buy 3,000, 4,000 square foot home. It's going to take a little bit of electricity to keep it cool, keep it hot. So just keep that in mind. All right. You got East Roseville over West Roseville all day long. No Highway 65 and close to everything. West Roseville is pretty much antelope. All right. Here's the thing I think about West Roseville. Now, let me ask you about this, Jason. Just back and forth, realtor to realtor. I like West Roseville for a suburban, new parks, and growth potential. I look at like areas like Elk Grove and I go like Elk Grove's on fire and I think Elk Grove is just going and going and going. And then I see areas like Roseville and I see them going and going and going. I mean, West Roseville in like maybe like 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, I think with the brand new schools they're putting in, Placer Parkway, I mean, I think we're going to see a turnover a lot in areas like, you know, like the Rosevilles, Elk Groves, like Folsoms. I mean, we're going to see these areas just kind of just, you know, just explode. Now, East Roseville for the price tag, I'd say it's hard to get into East Roseville, probably under like maybe, I don't know, probably like 850 at this point for a house. But in West Roseville, you can get into a house probably in the low fives. So I look at it this way. If I was going to stay in a home longer than maybe, you know, like 7 years or 8 years, if that was my plan, I think like the idea of West Roseville is that it would be a very solid choice. East Roseville would be great, you know, but you have to pay a premium. The premium you pay to get into East Roseville, it's not like I'm saying it's not worth it, but at the same time, just understand that it's an established community. A lot of people like it because of the schools and everything as well too. East Roseville has always been a little bit like, you know, East Roseville is that spot for locals. It's just as good, well, pretty much as good as Grant Bay. For people moving in from the area, from out of the area in, a lot of people don't know about East Roseville specifically, so it makes it a little less competitive than Granite Bay. I don't know. It's interesting, but I mean, different vibe. I mean, if someone looks at East Roseville and then looks at West Roseville, I mean, it's a completely vibe, a different vibe. And I don't know. I mean, both of them, I think, have their pros. Both of them, I think, have their cons. You know, if I'm looking for in this interest rate environment of a brand new home, friendly community, up and coming growth, you know, and all that stuff too, West Roseville, Surf Park and everything. I don't know if I could beat that, you know. The only other area that I look at, well, no, maybe two, maybe Elk Grove and Rancho. I mean, those areas are on fire as well too. So that would be my 2 cents. All right. If you guys have more questions too, I want to know if you guys have any questions on Roseville. All right. Jason again. Our West Roseville is great if you stay in the area, but for us commuting always for real estate, it's hard with the traffic. Blue Oak, Pleasant Grove, Highway 65 just adds 20 minutes more. Yeah, no, and that's the truth. One of the reasons why, and I myself don't live in West Roseville. You know, I live in Gold River. A lot of you guys know this who watch the show. The main reason for me, just like Jason said, is that Sacramento is, and Roseville is the same way. Everything around here is a driving city. We're not really public transportation. You'll see it here and again, but you won't see too much of it. We're very much a driving city. And what you notice is that the 80 freeway is one of our main freeways. The 50 is another big freeway for us as well too. You see people who need to be in Folsom or need to be in El Dorado Hills kind of stay on the 50, and then people who are like Roseville, Rockland kind of stay on the 80. And that's kind of what we notice. And in real estate, you are driving all the time. And, you know, because the way San Francisco or Sacramento was developed and we don't have that one freeway going around the entire area, it just makes it really, really hard. We have these crazy arteries like Sierra, you know, College Boulevard. We have Bradshaw, we have Sunrise. It just are completely brutal. And if you're looking to get like between rush hour times in Sacramento, if you're in Roseville and you're trying to make it to Folsom, it's got to be about like 45 minutes if you're lucky. And so it just gets a little bit brutal that way. And so, yeah, West Roseville is definitely a little bigger commute. And it's a little bit further out. I mean, they're just kind of pushing the boundaries over and over and over. Now, do I think West Roseville in future is a good spot to buy in? I always like the idea, and I always tell people, Roseville didn't just poof, and all of a sudden it became what it is. Folsom didn't poof, it became what it is. I mean, Grant Bay didn't even do that as well, too. They started building, and slowly people started moving in, and, you know, schools came in and all that stuff, too, and it just grew and developed. I see spots like, as I call it, New Folsom. I think that area is just going to be crazy expensive in the future. Elk Grove is going to be the same way. I think West Roseville, I mean, it's going to get its shopping. And I think in the future, it's just one of those spots that I think makes a lot of sense for people. But, you know, it'll be interesting to see the future of Sacramento for sure. Like once, like, let's say like 10 years down the road, what like West Roseville is like, right? I mean, because if you look at it in West Roseville and you look at Fittyman, it's already built out. The trees are grown. It's really, really nice. West Park even more. And then if you look in Folsom too, I mean, if there are certain areas on the other side of the 50 that were new home communities, but those are already built out. Trees are growing, established communities as well too. So everything really happens fast in the Sacramento area. And 5, 10 years down the road, you know, all that area in West Roseville is just going to be crazy. I mean, where are you going to go? I mean, the newer schools are all going to be in West Roseville. So I don't know. It's going to be fun. I mean, one thing about the Sacramento area, in contrast to like maybe you're like San Francisco or you're Los Angeles or whatnot, like our landscape in Sacramento changes year to year. I have people coming in all the time who grew up in Sacramento, haven't been back to Sacramento in a while, come back, and the first thing they tell me is, this is not the Sacramento I grew up in. I mean, it's just completely different. All right. All right, East Roseville, I'm 3 minutes to Grant Bay, 19 minutes to Sac, 17 minutes to Folsom, etc. Yeah, and that's the thing. As the Placer Parkway develops, as we got all that stuff going, eventually, if we can get the infrastructure built and it ties in West Roseville a little bit more to everything, it's going to be kind of unstoppable. Again, those are the things we kind of got to work on in the Sacramento area. I think we should have done the infrastructure a little ahead of time, but it is what it is. All right, here's some of the communities also in the West Roseville, not West Roseville, in Roseville specific, that are some of the ones that are a little more expensive, some of the ones that are a little bit more affordable. I'd say this is just some of them. I like Johnson Ranch as well too. You know, Fittyman Farm, that's an area that was built out. Taylor Morrison Homes over there, Signature Homes. Morgan Creek, if you're looking for like a very, very nice man-made lake golf course community, Morgan Creek is fantastic. Really, really nice. I'd say as far as West Roseville goes, or as far as Roseville goes, West Roseville goes, I'd say like that's probably the spot that I'd say is a little bit the most bougie kind of area. Morgan Creek's fantastic. Cherry Glen, I'd say Diamond Oaks. Those two spots, I would say if you're looking for Roseville and you're looking for more affordable Roseville, those are probably some of the communities I would definitely target. All right. Boom. All right. West Roseville is great. Bang for your buck for the first time buyers. Since Whitney Ranch is pretty much built out or now overpriced. It just will be a rough commute out of West Roseville. Yeah, the commute still is a little bit of a bear. And you know, one of the things you hit on straight up is Whitney Ranch. You know, back in the day, I loved Whitney Ranch. I thought Whitney Ranch was great. And I still like it as far as but I think at this point, it just doesn't have enough builders building there, and the competition isn't there like it used to be. Back in the day when you had like New Home Company, you had Richmond American, you had like, JMC and everything too. There seemed to be a lot more diversity in building plans and everything too. It just seems like Whitney Ranch, although Anthem is building out there too, it just seems like everything is JMC out there as well. And it seems like JMC just is kind of inching up on the pricing. So yeah, I'm with you. I think Whitney Ranch is crazy, but I will say for those people who are looking at something like a Whitney Ranch, check out Liberty. So good. Diamond Oaks. Yeah, Diamond Oaks, again, I mean, if you can find something in Diamond Oaks, and again, that's a huge problem in the Roseville area. It's like, yeah, great. A house popped up in Diamond Oaks and 1 million people jump into it. Cherry Glen the same way. So I would say if you're looking in Roseville, it's doable, right? I'd say it's a little bit easier of a market than Folsom. I would say it's probably less expensive than El Dorado Hills. Definitely less competitive than Elk Grove. And it does have its areas. I don't know, like looking at this on the map and just talking about or thinking about this podcast that I wanted to do about Roseville, I don't know if I've seen an area in the Sacramento metro that has such a diverse feeling in areas, right? Like the central Roseville area. And I got to divide out central and like old Roseville, right? Those two are just completely like night and day, right? And then you have like the East Roseville area, and then you have the West Roseville area. And it's funny because a lot of people kind of expect to see the same thing in Roseville all along those lines. You just don't. And that's just the truth of the matter. If you go to West Roseville, it's going to be a whole lot different than like central, than old Roseville, and then East Roseville. So you have to vibe it out and you have to figure out what you want. I would say for price points, again, If you're looking in like West Roseville, you can probably get something in the low fives, buy downs, interest rate, promotions, all that stuff too. Central, you're probably gonna be looking for a little bit of a smaller home, although there are some cute communities by the fountains in the back area, golf course communities out there as well too that are nice. I would say Morgan Creek, hard to get into Morgan Creek underneath 900, 850. And then East Roseville, unless you're very, very lucky, I mean, 850, 900 all day long. All right, let's go to the next slide. All right, hopefully you guys are enjoying the broadcast. If you are, smash that like button. Now let's talk hospitals. One of the things about Roseville is stacked. Roseville. Now, where we need hospitals right now is West Roseville. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more of that. But at the same time, oh my God. All right, let's see this. This is a good one. My vote was Toll Brothers, Vista Oaks. I laugh out loud. I didn't notice the road noise. Really? Did you? I did. The Toll Brothers video is actually going to be released on Friday. It's pretty, my video person shot it pretty well. It's gorgeous community, really nice. I would say the Toll Brothers community pros, is that it is on that Rockland side. I really love the idea that it's right by the 80 for people who need to commute downtown. I think what I've been noticing is that community, and I talked to Erica who works over there, and she said that she's already had 3 or 4 doctors purchase houses there because they love the Toll Brothers brand. They love the Toll Brothers style, and they love the idea of being close to everything that Roseville has. Because that community is it's pretty much like just past the Roseville border. So you're going to get all the amenities you would have in Roseville. Yes, you're going to be on PG&E, but you get quick access to the 80. If you're trying to get downtown, it's just great. It's Toll Brothers. A lot of people with Bigford Ranch are feeling that it's a little too far out there, special assessments. This Toll Brothers community, the Vista Oaks, no HOAs. Mellows are going to be around $650 a month. But at the same time, you're getting in early. There's some nice view lots as well too, unlike the one they have going in Folsom. So I don't know. I like Vista Oaks, but can you hear the 80? Yes. I've heard the 80. I've actually seen the 80 from some of the lots as well too. Is it as like in your face as like Shawwood? No. It's also because of how the freeway is in comparison. If you look at the freeway in Folsom where Shawwood is, you're going to see that it's kind of on a corridor, it's kind of down there. So when there's noise, a lot of the noise you're hearing is just the echoing of the noise going back and forth. The 80 where Toll Brothers is, you're going to hear some of the noise and you're going to hear some cars in the distance, but it's not going to be so crazy that you're going to say, oh man, it's too much. I don't want to do it. I think that Toll Brothers Vista Oaks, it's bringing something to the area that is really, really needed. People love Toll Brothers. One thing, guys, straight up, and Jason will tell you this as well too, people go crazy for Toll Brothers. I always tell people it's like the Louis Vuitton kind of bag, they just go nuts for Toll Brothers. The brand, the luxury feel, and Toll Brothers really does play the game really well as far as the models, as far as all that stuff goes. They give us those homes that a lot of people who are moving into the Sacramento area are telling themselves, if I move to Sacramento, I want that MTV crib house. And this is what Toll Brothers does like no other builder. You walk into a Toll Brothers home and you are just kind of in pretty much awe because the upgrades, the finishes. Now, there are some Toll Brothers communities, in my opinion, that are a little bit better than most. I think Vista Oaks, I'd give it an 8. As far as a community, as far as builds and everything too. Although I did like the catwalk that went the walkway that went all the way around. I think they probably should have also done a single story floor model as well too. But I don't know. I think that community is going to do really, really well. All right, one street over from Roseville. I know. If that Toll Brothers could only tack on to Roseville Electric, that would have been just like those lots would already be gone. Yeah. Single story, my vote is Shawwood. 2-story Toll Brothers. Toll Brothers does do those 2 stories so nicely. The single stories, Toll does them okay. I think they do some good single stories. I don't know if they're like, there's one floor plan that I really liked in El Dorado Hills called the Granite. And that was a good floor plan. I think they did the Sierra at El Dorado Hills, and I think the Granite should have been highlighted. But the 2-story homes with the double, the windows up there, the high ceilings, the chandelier and lighting fixtures. It's just hard. All right. Video guy, Matt. That mortgage rate relief didn't last long. Back to the highest rates of 2026 today. I know. I'm going to tell you something. The funniest part about this, and Jason will probably help me with this as well too, is the fact that, what was it, maybe 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, when rates were like, every realtor on the planet was broadcasting. They were saying rates are lowest that they've ever been in the last 3 years. I mean, that lasted like that, right? And then by Monday, oil prices, whoop, we were up, and it's going to be up. Guys, I mean, as far as the market goes, and I know this is about Roseville, but just to tell you guys, the market at this moment is not fantastic. Majority of realtors out there, yes, they might sell a home, they might do a deal, but it is definitely a slower market. Everybody's feeling it. In the real estate industry, I talked to a lot of people. Buyers are nervous. You know, everyone's saying, oh no, you know, everyone's going to jump into the bond market. No, they're not. They're keeping their pennies really close by. People are getting nervous. You know, gas prices are going up. Food prices are going to go up. It's just going to be a very nervous market right now too. And even the new homes, you know, they're not selling like they expected to be selling, and, you know, except for certain communities. But yeah, no, it's a crazy market. Now, I will say though, in the Sacramento area, the luxury buyer is a little bit different than maybe the first time home buyer. Luxury buyer is kind of like, I've been waiting for this my entire life. I just want it. Let's go. But again, you know, it's going to be an interesting ride this spring and everything. It's already hot here in Sacramento, by the way, if you guys didn't know that. All right. I like the two-story Toll Brothers Bickford Ranch. Yeah. That Etna model at Toll Brothers, you know, one of the things though, and the funniest thing for me, and I think you've probably seen this as well too, because you videoed both of them. If you go to the Folsom Vulcan that they have modeled and you go to Toll Brothers Etna, there's like no comparison. I mean, the backyard is so much better at Bickford. And it just absolutely blows me away. Part of me doesn't really get the Folsom community as well, but it's just Toll, I guess. All right. Fed might do a rate hike next, but all the agents on social media promised me like 8 cuts this year. What the heck? I'm going to tell you something, video guy Matt, and I'll say this straight up. On this channel, I was straight up. I was like, I think this year is going to pretty much mimic last year. Jerome Powell is the only iffy part. When he steps down, someone might replace it, some, you know, artificially bond market buying, or, you know, bond buying, whatever. But yeah, for the most part, I said this straight up. I think we are going to be in almost the exact same situation we were in last year. And now with rates going up, it could be actually a worse market this year than it was last year. And again, and I think, video guy Matt, you mentioned this a little while ago. One of the biggest things in our market, and one of the biggest things that's going to really cripple our market right now is sellers pricing. Sellers right now, you know, even sellers who were like listing their homes last year and they didn't sell, I see them reappearing online right now, and they're the same price. In fact, I've actually seen a few houses actually listed for more than they were selling for last year. So I think with all that stuff happening, I just feel really, I think this year is going to be very slow. And you know, it is what it is, but I think it's going to be that way. I think some of the new home communities, the only one that I see that's really like crazy hot is, what is it? It is Woodside, not Aspen, Willow. Willow is just crazy. It's funny because you go to all the new home communities in Rancho and they're doing okay. They got their promotions. In fact, they're going to get better incentives. And then you drop by Woodside's Willow and they will tell you this: we have 60 people already pre-qualified on the waiting list. When we send out the email, the first one to respond gets the house. That's it. They are the one community in all the Sacramento area right now that is just completely crazy. The other new home communities, I think, are sweating it a little bit. All right. Estimate around 40% of recent listings are simply relists from last year at the same price or more. That's the thing that's driving me crazy, guys. If you really want to sell your home, understand that, you know, last year, this year, kind of the same market. There wasn't a big interest rate drop. Now, if interest rates were like maybe low 5s or maybe somewhere around there, I could see listing a house for the same price because now more people can afford it. But listing your house at the same price it was listed before with interest rates actually being a little higher now, Makes absolutely no sense. I mean, unless you're really, really just not trying to sell your home. All right, let's go back to Roseville. All right, this is going to be a good one. All right, here we go. What do you got? I've sold in declined markets. You can be dumb seller when the market is hot, but when the slow, you have to lick your wounds early and go lower than you think. You know, I've had a conversation with a few people as well too. I'm like, you have to pull the Band-Aid off. You just have to. You know, if you're a seller and you're really trying to sell your home, and I know it's not great, you're probably going to lose money. You know, it is what it is. But if you're really trying to sell your home, you just have to just suck it up and do it. Because if you don't, you're going to have carrying costs. You're going to keep paying that mortgage. You're going to keep paying maintenance costs, electricity bills. And then eventually, you know, the backyard is going to look bad and you're going to have to landscape that thing. It's just one of those things that at the end of the day, you know, you'll end up selling your house probably even for less based on like carrying costs. So yeah, you just got to rip that Band-Aid off and just say, look, I got to sell the house. I'm not going to be making money. I'm probably going to be losing money on it, but I need to get rid of this house. And this is what I have to do. If you don't, what you're going to end up doing is having it listed all this year. And then at the end of the day, it's not going to sell and you're going to have all this carrying costs. And then we're going to go into the cold season, October, November, December, and January. And then you're probably going to be thinking about listing it next spring at the same price. You just got to rip off the Band-Aid and just list, be aggressive in price drops, and eventually get to that sweet spot where all of a sudden you have that activity. You have a realtor who's good about negotiating stuff and talking to people and getting offers in the door, even if they're low, seeing if you can negotiate stuff and just go. But if you are stuck on a price point and you're saying to yourself, that's what I want, understand that every single month that your house doesn't sell, that amount that you want kind of decreases a little bit based on carrying costs. All right. Dun, dun, dun. Most people don't think about this fact. The comps represent what the market was 2 months ago. If the market is declining, you have to go lower. Yeah, and that's the thing. Comps, you can't really comping out right now. Comping a house is just brutal. For me, for our team specifically, what we end up doing is we end up going to the house. We kind of go over the house, see what the house is all about. We go into some open houses, you know, see the area, see movement. We talk to a lot of realtors that listed the homes as well too. You kind of have to be a little bit aggressive in this market because comps don't really mean anything. Now, the frustrating thing also about this market is that you could have that one person that's been looking for that exact floor plan that buys the home, and then you list it thinking that, oh man, that thing flew. I'm going to list this one for the exact same price and it sits. That's the type of market we're in. There's no guarantee that even if you price aggressively, your house is going to go. This is the type of market we're in right now too. Buyers are just not ready to just let's go, pull the trigger. I'm good to go. A lot of buyers are just nervous. A lot of buyers are kind of rethinking decisions. A lot of buyers are seeing gas prices go up, grocery prices go up, and they're just hesitant. And do I blame them? Not a whole lot. All right, let's go back to Roseville. All right, so we got Placer 1, and that's going on right now. And Placer 1's going to be a monster as far as everything that's going to go on there. I think that's where they're going to be putting in the college as well too. You got the Placer Parkway that's going to connect everything with airport, downtown, everything too, to make that whole lot easier. You have Winding Creek, Amoroso Ranch, and those are the two big ones right now too. You have Fittyment Road Corridor and Fittyment Farms. You have what's called West Park as well too. You've got new schools coming into West Roseville as well. Now, what you're going to notice is the big area of growth in Roseville is going to be the West Roseville part. And that's just because there's tons of land and they're just going to keep building and building and building. Now, the part that really isn't developing that much is going to be the Central Roseville and East Roseville because those are more established. There's not a whole lot of land to build out there as well too. You might see some custom homes or some boutique development, but that's kind of what it looks like. All right. Now, all these images I have as well too, if you guys want to, just text me. I can send them over to you. But yeah, Placer 1's going to be a big one. And a lot of people have already gone out there. But the sentiment I've been getting from a lot of people at Placer 1 is a lot of people have been telling me the Placer 1 seems to be a tad bit overpriced, where they're pivoting a little bit more to Winding Creek and Amoroso Ranch. You know, not sure, but at the same time, just go out there and figure out what floor plan works. Make sure also you're checking out exactly, what schools you're in and the natural NHDs, natural hazard disclosure, to see if you're in near anything as well too. Just be very, very vigilant about what you're doing. All right, and here we go again. Here is, love this, Baseline Road, Baseline Marketplace. Gosh, you guys, West Roseville is going to have so much fun shopping out there. All right, let me see what else I got for you. Okay, so now let's compare it. And we'll just go for a regular comparison as far as how it goes. Now, as far as Roseville goes, I want to break down some of the stuff about Roseville. One is, how would I compare it to other spots? I would say a lot of my clients, now and again, I'll have people who are thinking to themselves, Elk Grove and Roseville. They don't really know the area too well, and they're looking at Elk Grove and Roseville, and they see the price points, they see the house styles, and they're like, okay, I like this. Some people like, Roseville a little bit more for the shopping. Some people like Elk Grove a little bit more for the location, proximity to downtown and San Francisco in the Bay Area. So what ends up happening after usually one day, at that point in time, the client usually decides either to go to Elk Grove or go to Roseville. Now, why do they choose which one usually, what does it for a person? Roseville, it's usually like they really want to be a little bit more around the, downtown area, the shopping and everything too. They feel like it's very, very vibrant. Elk Grove is a little bit more like, okay, there's, new home building that's not too far away from everything. We can get a brand new home and we're super close to the Bay Area. Elk Grove for the resale market, I'd say around 650, 750. It's probably way more competitive than Roseville. I think that price point in Elk Grove is crazy. I think in the East Roseville area, for price points maybe around 850 and above, I think that's way more competitive than Elk Grove. I think in the East Roseville area, that's super, super competitive. Now, as far as new homes go, Elk Grove versus like Roseville, you're going to get a way bigger bang for your buck in Roseville as comparatively towards Elk Grove. Elk Grove is very competitive when it even comes to new homes. They're the place probably I'd say is giving out the smallest bang for your buck and the least incentives I'm seeing in all the Sacramento area. And because they don't have to. The Elk Grove new homes are a big, big cash cow over there too. I mean, if people are looking in Elk Grove, 9 out of 10 people looking in Elk Grove are looking for new homes. Where in Roseville, it's a little bit different. So I'd say the two places, that's kind of what you're looking at. Now, as far as topography, I guess you can say, I'd say Elk Grove's a lot more flat. And it's gonna be a little rural in the 758 and probably a little more rural in the 624 as well too. Roseville is gonna feel a little bit more like suburban, resorty, kind of like, trails, preserves and everything too. It's just gonna have that kind of vibe to it. So I'd say like that's the comparison. If you're someone who's looking for Roseville, you're gonna know after the first day if Elk Grove or Roseville is the one for you. I mean, it's just going to be completely apparent to you. And majority of my clients are kind of that way. Boom, boom. Video guy Matt. Highway 99 essentially eliminates most of Elk Grove for me. I'll never willingly travel on the stretch of 99 between Elk Grove and downtown. Yeah, and that's the thing also for Elk Grove. If you are commuting, if you need to use a 99, people don't like it. If you got to use a Grant line, people aren't big fans of that as well too. Elk Grove is that spot where it's funny because Elk Grove is growing, competitive. There's so much building happening in Elk Grove. But what I noticed in Elk Grove, and it's unlike any other spot in the Sacramento metro, where it's like mom lives there, my aunt lives there, and maybe even mom owns 3 houses in Elk Grove. But the family is very family-centric, friend-centric. If I get one person moving to Elk Grove, usually I have 3 other people following, usually friends and family as well too. It's very family-centric. I guess that's what I can say about Elk Grove. Roseville, I feel like people like the Roseville area, even, West Roseville, Central Roseville, or even East Roseville. They love the idea of being close to shopping. They love the idea of getting a nice size home there, new home or East Roseville home. Shopping tends to be one of their big things. And they love the idea that they're close to the 80 as well too. So that's what I would say is a big difference between Elk Grove and Roseville. Now, as far as housing styles go, I'd say Roseville is a little bit more like a Folsom house style where there's some 3 levels and 3-story homes. Elk Grove is a little bit more tracky, I'd say, especially in the 757. But again, both really, really nice spots. And you're going to know right away. The second you go, if you're someone who does not know anything about Sacramento, and you look at price points, you look at like schools, you look at all that stuff too, and you say, oh, okay, Elk Grove and Roseville, these places look really similar. Let's go. I kid you not even one day, half day, you will be able to tell off the bat. And every single client we've had that has had Roseville and Elk Grove in the mix, like they will choose one after they see it. They'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, no, Elk Grove's me or Roseville's me, straight up. All right, let's do that. Jason, yeah, I'm down. You name the day and the time and we will grab lunch. I'm down for it. All right. Seems like Roseville and Elk Grove are similar in commute time to downtown Sacramento during rush hour. Maybe I'm wrong. No, you're right on the money. They are pretty similar as far as commute time goes. You know, I would say though, maybe like the 624 is a little further off. No, I'd say you're pretty much right on about that. You know, commute traffic is gonna be brutal no matter which way, but yeah, it's about that. Now, again, it's bizarre, but Elk Grove and Roseville, they on paper, they look like the most similar kind of areas. You look at Roseville, you look at Elk Grove, you look at the schools, you look at this, you look at the lifestyle, the houses and everything too. It's just, I think more of just the topography of each area is just very, very different. A lot of people like Roseville because it feels a little bit more hilly and there's a lot more terrain over there too, where Elk Grove feels a little bit more flat and some people like it, some people don't. But again, Elk Grove has got that thing where like, I know so many people that move into Elk Grove and then their father, their mother, their sister, their brother move into Elk Grove as well too. People also, Elk Grove, you're going to see people that have lived in Elk Grove like their entire lives and they're like very, very loyal to the area too. Now, Roseville for me, I like it because it kind of gives you almost like a Folsom vibe, but not the Folsom price. Folsom's super competitive as well too. But Roseville, when someone says to me, hey, Mark, I'm looking at Roseville, I'm looking at Folsom, I want to get like, I'm looking at 800. I'm looking for like a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. Roseville for me is a way easier ask than Folsom. Folsom is hard at 800. Tough, tough, tough. And Folsom and Roseville, I think if you look at the housing styles, if you look at the communities, Folsom and Roseville are very, very similar. You're going to see a lot of the housing built in the same exact time, communities that almost look just like each other. I mean, there's sometimes someone could just drop you in a street in Roseville and tell you you're in Folsom and you're going to say, oh yeah, I'm in Folsom. They just look that similar. It's bizarre. Like sometimes you'll drive through a community and you're like, I feel like I'm in Folsom or I feel like in Roseville. Those two communities or those two cities are such kind of doppelgangers. When I first moved into Sacramento, I saw Roseville, I saw Folsom, and the only thing for me that really differentiated them being a realtor now is that Folsom is a lot more competitive and it's more expensive to jump into than Roseville, period. But the landscape just looks so much similar. Yeah, in Folsom, you know, you're closer to the water a little bit. You know, you got Lake Natoma, you got, you know, American River, Folsom Lake and everything too. But for the most part, those two kind of like cities or suburbs, they just look so much like each other. And I think a lot of people who we work with that want either Folsom and Roseville might even a little bit prefer Folsom, but they realize that you're going to have to spend like another $100,000 and they might not get exactly what they want there. And it's a competitive market. And they look at Roseville, the shopping, and they're pretty much getting maybe something a little bit bigger over there too. And they pivot over to Roseville. Dun, dun, dun. I cannot find gated communities on Grove. That's why I skipped it. There are some in the 624, like the Sheldon Estates and everything too. But yeah, another thing too about Elk Grove, and I was talking to this really nice lady today too. She was talking about new home communities that come with like a pool, come with a clubhouse. The funny thing about Sacramento right now is there's not really a whole lot of people building that style of community anymore. There used to be a lot of people, like Liberty is one that's coming out with that. But what you're noticing right now is you're seeing minimal HOAs that, you know, protect the CC&Rs, but not a whole lot anything else. So that's kind of interesting. If you're looking for like an HOA that has a pool, Liberty and Lincoln's probably where you go to. All right, so what did we do? We compared Roseville. Okay, now let's go to Roseville to Rockland. Again, huge, huge thing. First of all, Rockland, PG&E, Roseville Electric. What two people do I have usually? Like a lot of people will, and you know, you guys, Jason, you're one of the guys, one of the realtors here as well too. You'll know that a lot of people probably call you up and say, I want to be on the 80, or I want to be, you know, I want to either be in Roseville or Rockland. Those two kind of sister communities or sister area suburbs are just one of those things. Now, Rockland is going to be further up north. And so it tends to be a little further away from downtown. A lot of people would prefer to probably be a little bit closer in Roseville, but Rockland has, it's like where everything starts going kind of up the hill. Rockland has very nice hilly terrain. It's where also Toll Brothers loves to build. That's their Vista Oaks is out there right now. They built, what was it? The other two. Crestline or Skyline and Crestline, I think we're out there as well too. Rockland, resorty, bougie, really, really nice, beautiful communities. It's almost, I would say Rockland and El Dorado Hills. There's a little bit of similarity right there too. But I'd say for a lot of people, like Roseville has a better commute to downtown. It's closer to economic hubs as far as like places to work, employment. And Roseville right now has probably more of the shopping. It's going to have the, Louis Vuittons, the Gucci's and everything too. So, and the Apple stores. So Roseville is still going to be the central hub of shopping. Now, the Whitney Ranch Retail Center, of course, is out there as well too. But it's kind of like a Folsom Mall where it's going to have some nice stores. It's going to have the Nugget, but will it have like an Apple store? Will it have that kind of stuff? It won't. Will it have Restoration Hardware? Will it have West Elm? It won't. It's still going to be the Roseville Galleria. So that's the thing. Now, as far as terrain goes, I'd say Roseville does have some nice terrain, but Rockland is going to give you those view houses, those, the resort style vibe a little bit more. But Rockland's interesting as well too. And I want to do a video about this as well. There's Rockland on the 80 and Rockland on the 65, and they are completely different. Rockland on the 80, you have some nice luxury communities, but you also have some affordable communities as well too. What I've been noticing since all the new homes are being built and everything, and no one really likes the whole 65, 80 kind of intersection, I've been noticing that Rockland by the 80 is getting so much more desirable. And the price point there is going up, and that's exactly where Vista Oaks by Toll Brothers is building as well too. I love that area. I think that area is really, really nice. In fact, Toll Brothers, if you look at the Toll Brothers community, Vista Oaks, and you look around the whole area there, I mean, you can't get in there for underneath probably like maybe $950. I mean, beautiful homes, beautiful area. All right, Jason, what are your thoughts on Orangeville? No one talks about it. Close to Folsom, Roseville, Rockland, etc. A little far from the freeway. I like Orangeville. I think Orangeville is good. Have you seen that one community in there, Woodbridge? Love that community. I think Orangeville is good. I think the thing is right now, a lot of people from out of the area, like Orangeville doesn't get a lot of like YouTube videos or a lot of house tours. There's just not a lot of focus on Orangeville. Like Citrus Heights doesn't get a lot of love. Carmichael's okay. Fair Oaks. And these are areas that have been staple areas in the Sacramento area. But I think Orangeville is great. I think there's some communities in Orangeville that are right near like the water as well too. I think Orangeville is very, very much like underrated. But here's the thing. What is that cap on Orangeville? Woodbridge, you can get a house there for like $1.5, $1.8 million. Those houses are nice, but because they don't have the demand, the price point, would you rather put that money into El Dorado Hills or Grant Bay? But Orangeville is nice. I think Orangeville, the location is good. Freeway access, iffy, but at the same time, it's like kind of little baby Folsom, I guess you can call it. But Orangeville has always been kind of, for me, underlooked. I always call them the stepchildren in Sacramento: Orangeville, Citrus Heights, Carmichael, and Fair Oaks, and a little bit of Rancho. Those areas, the bang for your buck, I think is phenomenal out there. I think in Sacramento, everybody knows those areas, but because we get so many people moving in from other areas that everyone's always focused on the new home areas, right? Like the Elk Groves, the Folsom, the Rosevilles, the Rocklands, and the Lincolns. They're focused on those because of all the marketing done by new homes, all the incentives, and a lot of people who come up here are looking for new homes. And so they overlook some of the staples of our area. I mean, we can even go further than that and just talk about like areas like Southland Park, Arden Park, there's so many cool communities that just don't really get a lot of attention because they don't have Toll Brothers, they don't have Shawwood. They don't have all the new schools that are being built there as well too. That they're being very, very much like kind of overlooked. They're still nice areas, still accessible to everything. They just don't have the polish, I guess some of these other places do have, that a lot of people are drawn to. But I like Orangeville. All right. Roseville is the only city in Placer County not on PG&E. Yep. Did you know, Jason, check this out. There's actually, if you look on the map at a street called Petite Sirah, it was this one community by Woodside Homes that they built out. It's the only sliver in Roseville that's actually on PG&E. Everyone thinks all Roseville is on Roseville Electric, but there's this one little tiny sliver of Roseville. And it's like, if you type in Petite Sirah, there's a community Woodside built right in that area. It's on PG&E. It's crazy. Yeah. All right. Folsom traffic by the Palladio. Highway 50 is always fun. Laugh out loud, especially East Bidwell. Yeah, that was one of the things I remember about a year ago. I was starting to see the traffic kind of pile up. And I was thinking to myself, man, I swear, like that East Bidwell to get in and out of Folsom is just brutal. You know, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. They're widening it, but at the same time, like how you say, they're widening East Bidwell, but they're building almost twice as many. I mean, Taylor Morrison's going to open up their new community out there as well pretty soon. So I don't know how they're going to deal with the traffic. I mean, it is a nightmare. All right. Where are the people usually spending on their PG new bills in Rockland for 2,500 square foot homes? Shoot, I don't know. Probably like during summertime. I think I've seen people probably spend upwards to like 750 a month. With solar, I've seen like maybe 125, probably about 150. But you know, like without, but you know, SMUD. For me, I have SMUD right here, and it's just like it's nothing. I don't even have what's called solar on my house, and it's basically next to nothing. All right, Rockland on the 80 for the win. Yeah, Rockland on the 80 comparatively towards Rockland on the 65. It's just so much more accessible to everything. If you guys look on the map and you see it, and you see Rockland specifically, and you're going to see like Rockland on the 80 is like so much. It's like almost like another part of Roseville, like a little bit more up the hill. Yeah, Rockland on the 80 is just beautiful. And I would say, you know, as it kind of bleeds into Roseville, that area is really, really nice as well. That East Roseville area too. I don't know. I like Roseville. I think Roseville, bang for your buck, location. I think the amount of new homes being built there, all this hospitals there as well too, accessible to downtown, close to Tahoe. Shopping is in Roseville. I mean, you know, Roseville's hard to beat. All right. Boom. Devin, how are you doing? Man, we got to talk a little Run DMC. What's up, MC Mark? We'll be emailing you guys in the next couple of days. But the viewer, my question is, any thoughts on Dixon? New plus 55 at the west side of Dixon. Seems pretty price friendly. Let me take a look at it for you. And find out. I haven't seen that one straight up, but active communities are pretty like are popular. I mean, pretty crazy. So I'll take a look at that one for you. The other one I want to show you when you get a chance is the one in Rancho. That plus 55 community is just crazy. It looks like Lake Tahoe. We'll talk. Hit me up in a couple of days. We'll talk a little old school rap as well. I heard Placer One is on PG&E. Yeah, Placer One's on PG&E as well too. I'm not sure if all the communities are, but what I heard about Placer One at this point is that it's not selling that well just because it seems to be a little overpriced. Now, if it isn't, I'm not really sure, but a lot of the realtors I've been talking to, Jason, maybe you could shed a little light on it. I've been seeing a lot of people pivoting from Placer One to Amoroso. I think Placer One was just like supposed to be this amazing, it's going to be fantastic. And then it's just kind of fizzled out a little bit, but you know, still think it's going to be a big thing in that area. Now, one last comparison we'll do is as far as Roseville and another one, Lincoln with Liberty and all the building that's happening in Lincoln. Lincoln's going to be one of those spots probably the next couple of years that's going to take over all the new home building. The amount of stuff that they're having happen in Lincoln is just crazy. Lincoln versus Roseville though, what I notice with a lot of clients that I work with is just Lincoln is too far away. It's too far away from shopping, you know, like from like the Galleria type shopping. It's too far away from downtown, too far away from a lot of things. And people just feel like when we're driving out there, it just feels a little too far away. Now, who's it perfect for? Lincoln? I'd say for people who are probably like telecommuting or, you know, Zoom commuting or whatever you call that, you know, Lincoln can be okay. But Lincoln definitely is going to grow. It's going to expand. It's that spot, I would say, that within the next 5 or 10 years, it's going to boom. Lincoln was like the fastest growing like city in, I think, California in the early 2000s. So Lincoln is going to grow and everything, but Roseville versus Lincoln, it's just Roseville is more, I guess you can call it a little bit more green, a little bit more established. There's more like communities out there too that, you know, cater towards, how do you say it, like kind of by the Grant Bay-ish area. I mean, Lincoln does have its stuff in 12 Bridges, you know, Sun City up in Lincoln is beautiful. They've got some good active communities in Lincoln as well too. And in Roseville, they have as well too. They have a Sun City in Lincoln and Sun City in Roseville. But I would say Roseville is a little bit more central to everything. In Roseville, you don't have to leave Roseville. Where in Lincoln, you kind of do. Okay. And I'm not saying like every day, but I'm saying if you want to go, let's say to the Apple store, you're probably going to go to Roseville. Now, as far as price point goes, I would say Roseville is probably not all of Roseville, not all of Lincoln, but I would say if you look at the home price, I'd say in Roseville, the home price is a little higher than Lincoln. Lincoln, a lot of people like the bang for your buck. You can get out there. Liberty, I saw the prices for those new homes. They're pretty amazing, and they definitely compete with West Roseville as well, too. So that would probably be the last comparison, I'd say, Roseville and Lincoln. Both amazing spots. I like them both. But at the end of the day, I think Roseville is such an all-around spot, you know, a place for new homes, a place for bougie homes, you know, close enough to the airport, close enough to the 80, hospitals are right there. You got tons of suburbs to choose from. You know, you got to make sure which school district works for you, you know, Dry Creek, Center Schools, or Roseville City. But for the most part, it is such a growing and thriving area that it's hard for me to think of any other spot being as up and coming as West Roseville for the price point. If you're looking for something like that, the West Roseville area for new homes, if you're looking for maybe a Granite Bay style house, I would say look in East Roseville as well too. If you want to be close to stuff and you're saying, I don't want suburb living just yet, I'd say Central Roseville, like near the gallery and the fountains, is pretty fun. And that would kind of be my wrap up of Roseville. What do you guys think? Anything else to add? Anything else that I've missed in this Roseville? And I wanted to do this. I mean, this isn't smoke and mirrors. This isn't like I'm not reading a teleprompter. This is basically from me talking to you guys about clients I've worked with, their feedback, their thoughts, catching up with them in a year or two, what they felt about the area. But I'd say Roseville for me, price point, you know, location, what you can get in the Sacramento area, you know, resort style vibe. I mean, Roseville's got so much. And I think that it's, you know, the West Roseville area is definitely just beginning to do its thing as well too. And, you know, Roseville for me is great. All right, guys, I'm going to end the show tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Guys, Jason, we're going to grab lunch. Devin, hit me in a couple days and let's talk a little bit about Dixon. Derek, hopefully enjoy this breakdown of Roseville. And if I missed anything, please let me know in the comments below. You're like, you know, you're West Roseville through and through. Oh, here we go. We got another comment. There's a Lennar community in the fountains and on the golf course. Interested, new, surprising community. Yeah, Lennar is kind of doing some new things. Although Lennar is a hard one for me. Like, and it's not, and a lot of people are like, and they do now co-op with realtors. So it's not that. It's just that I've heard so many people talk about Lennar, how they like, you know, someone will buy a house for 700 and then the next house they'll sell, exact same house will be sold for 650. And just the way they do business and the service just has never rubbed me the right way. Now, do they build a good home? Do they build a bad home? I mean, I've heard mixed with almost every single builder, but at the same time, you know, I think, you know, Lennar is definitely one of the largest builders in the entire United States. So it is good. I definitely want to go check out the golf course community. I also want to do a video about North Lake in Natomas. I want to see how that thing's coming along as well too. All right. Boom. I think I saw the community had higher HOAs and Melrose. Oh, yeah, good location on a golf course. Okay, guys, on Friday, I'm going to release a Toll Brothers video at 7 p.m. It's going to be the new Vista Oaks community in Rockland. It's really close to Roseville. I'm going to drop it. Tune in. It's going to be a fun video and everything too. Jason, hit me up tomorrow and we will talk a little bit about lunch. And you can pick my brain on YouTube. I can pick your brain about Instagram and we can have a fun lunch. Maybe some Korean barbecue. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the show. I know it's a little different than what I normally do. We talk about Sacramento, and I'll probably go back to that next week, but I've been wanting to break down some of these areas for people. Roseville, I want to talk a little bit about Rancho, maybe in another video. I want to talk about Rockland, 80, 65. I want to talk about Lincoln and all the development that's happening out there. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this style of video as well too. I want to mix it up just a little bit. And also, you know I got some diehard West Roseville people on this channel and I wanted to give West Roseville a little love because in my heart of hearts, I think West Roseville is a good spot to invest in. And I think the growth potential in West Roseville is off the charts. All right, guys, I'm done. Enjoy your evening. Okay, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the show tonight. Buying and selling is stressful. I mean, there are definitely different avenues you can go in, and there's no guarantee. Every property is different, whether you're looking to buy it or sell it. So reach out to our team and we can talk to you a little bit about the pros and cons of selling currently, what your house is valued at, and all that stuff too. There's a link below to schedule a call. Now, if you're thinking about moving to the area, guys, reach out to our team as well. We're working with a lot of people relocating them to the Sacramento area. We absolutely love it. There's a Zoom link below. Set up a time where we can talk to you a little bit about what your needs are. Now, if you enjoyed this live broadcast, smash that like button. We would love to talk to you a little bit about Sacramento. I mean, we always are out and about. So if you're looking at places like El Dorado, Roseville, Rockland, Davis, we got you covered. Just reach out to us. And maybe you don't want to do a Zoom call, so just hit me at my phone number on the banner and we can talk Sacramento. Now, guys, one last thing before I go. There's a playlist right over there of other videos I've done about the Sacramento area. Knowledge is power. Those videos will help you kind of make a decision if Sacramento is that spot for you and you want to take it to the next stage. All right, guys, this is Mark. Have a good one. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Remember, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next video.